It's more intimate now. Freya! Sorry, I also love the way that you say Freya. It's like the rolling oars. Oh my god, we have a few people here. Hello, my lovely friends. How is the way? I'm gonna also bring this up on my laptop so I can see things and I'm not having to do this. Which is only appropriate if you're on a date with somebody. You know? Just saying. Do. And I was like, okay, I'm actually gonna sit down and like be like human and put on makeup. So I put it on the makeup. How is you guys? I'm trying to find myself. That sounds very philosophical, but it's not. It's actually like literally, I'm like, where did I put the thing? Ah, there it is. Ah, I love, I've already got one dislike. Thanks, guys. I do also love that, you know, I put up a poll and because I'm self-deprecating, I was like, oh, I'll put like, no, I don't want to watch you because you make my brain hurt. And one person did vote for that. And I'm like, I think I've fallen completely in love with you now. So always good. Missa, any new makeup? Actually, right, I got the Natasha Denona Triochrome arrived today, but it arrived a little bit smooshed. So I'm a little bit upset. Like very like, I don't know, it's very like first world problems. New stuff. Okay. I have them right here. Yes. I got the little Juvia's Place, actually. So I got the grey ones, I got the mint ones, and I got the Army. Yeah, Gregory. Well, smooshed. Well, not smooshed. Smashed. A little smashed. Like nothing major, but enough to make me kind of like a certain amount of one of the multi-chrome shades had like cracked and separated and it fell apart and had gone into like a lot of the mattes and was just had dirtied up the rest of the palette. And I'm really weird in that I'm like, I like things that, particularly if I've just got them, I want them to be pristine. And I know that's silly, it's like, well, that's very like first world problems, like get over it. Like yeah, like I've emailed them anyways, and I've just said like, look, I know it's not like a massive issue, but I am a bit weird on that. Anne Marie, hello, how are you? Yeah, so this is the greys. I am actually going to do a video with these, and here's the thing, it's a sort of a collab. So Wilma from the Wilma Finger Do Review, which is an excellent channel, do check her out. She's a drag queen, it's fabulous, it's very cool. She does lots of different kind of videos. Frankly, if Elena hasn't come across her, I'm surprised. So she does like movie reviews, and it's like just kind of fun, and like chats about Drag Race and whatever. So yeah, I'm going to do like a little collab with her, and yeah, that's the story. Hello, Gaia. Yeah, Missa. I mean, it was a gift to me, from me, because I'm sad and everything's falling apart. But yeah, this is the grey one. I've swatched them. I will say I think these two are a little bit too similar. I think it needed a bit more variation, but I think they're all going to work well together. And oh, she got too tired waiting for me. That's fair. That's fair. This is the mint. The pigment on these, because I swatched them the other day. Like I did a little swatchy video, and oh my god, I am manic with this heat, so like bear with me in a lot of my future videos. God, my boob looks ridiculous there, doesn't it? That's how I get demonetized. Susie, you are not late. We are just starting. And my favorite one, the Army one. You try and tell me that is not sexy loveliness. It's gorgeous. You're watching this on your 3G. Oh, the Natasha Denona Triochrome. Like, to be fair, it's not that bad. Like, I'm probably being a bit like whatever about it, but I need to chill. Oh, also, and I know that my girl Daniela is very excited about this. This is, what's the brand again? It's Belle Cosmetics, and this is their Break the Rules palette. So this is like a metallic multi-chrome sort of a thing. Da, 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 da. Of course you're not, Susie. I never accused you of watching this at work. This is like a burlesque version of unwrapping a palette. And it's gorgeous. Like, I mean, look at this. Yeah, Emily, it is a really expensive palette. Now, I know I did get it on sale. It was like €94 down from like 130 or something, but it did kind of suck. Yeah, Gregory, I know this part of why I was like, okay, I need to bring this out. I was gonna say like, can I do swatches? Screw that, it's my channel. Hold on, I'm gonna get wipes and you can look at my sofa. Da, da, da. Okay, I am going to unbutton this as well so I actually have some arm space because I'm not swatching on my face today because I actually put makeup on. Do you like this? It was a 20-minute eye look, so I was like, okay, let's do something quick and simple. Boobies, yes, I know. Very boobalicious. Okay, apparently I cannot get the button open on this. Oh, no, I did. Haha. There we go. Done. Okay, swatcheroonies. I've got face wipes. And that's okay to use face wipes for swatches. It's not a big deal. This look was all with the MAC Botanic Panic palette and the highlighters and one of the lipsticks. Striptease, yeah, absolutely. So I'll do some little swatches. Now I've done the swatches for Daniela and I have by the way, I'm gonna say this. These are so creamy and so buttery. I'm gonna do a video on this soon, like at some point. It's on my to-do list. Oh God, I don't know if you can pick up the shift on these. They're very nice. Because I'm not putting on lights and stuff because it's too warm for all of that. Titty swatches. This looks very wrong, doesn't it? I know, I don't use MAC because usually they aren't like interesting to me, but that was the first thing that I've seen that I was like, oh yeah. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, look at that. It's like butter, like actual butter. This is how I get demonetized. Da, 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 da. Emily, it's not wildly expensive either. I think it was like, was it 20-something dollars or so? I'm probably wrong, but I feel like it wasn't wildly expensive. Da, dun, dun, dun. This is so inappropriate. Look at my boobs. Yeah, I am gonna get demonetized. Look, whatever, I don't get a lot for this anyway. I was showing some of my Patreons that for R&R, I normally get about maybe €3. So, and that's with hours of work. There we go. Oh my God, this is actually such a low top. Oh, that's brilliant, Tia. Oh, I'm so glad because it's going to be you, me, Elena, and Missa. Now, Missa is getting like her jab that day, and my boobs actually do look fairly decent. So she may actually not be feeling that well. So it may be a case of her like sitting in a blanket and just being like, everything's awful, blah, blah, blah. And Rebecca has been the worst and has been like just tagging me in some very questionable stuff. Yeah, it's us four, Missa, yeah. This is actually very low. There we go. Yeah, for R&R. Ornar. One day I'll learn how to pronounce R's. I will never get over when Missa was over almost a year ago that she couldn't get over that I can't pronounce my R's properly. Because if you might remember, for anyone who's been watching my channel for a while, I did new makeup releases by myself for like a year, for over a year. And then Missa came over in August of last year and I roped her in because I was like, I have to film this anyway. R, yar. And it was just new makeup releases at the time. And I was like, I'm going to film that. And she was like, I'm just going to sit here like in the back. And I was like, no, come in. And she came in and then Releases and Rants was born. I initially called it Celtic Beauty News because it was just the two of us. But then like we roped in Elena and then I roped in lots of other people. So it's become different now. I do like having like the polling system. Like like that I've just started on Instagram because it's really interesting to see what you guys think. Because I'm a nosy bitch also. Like, surely I won't get taken down for like boobies. Ah, you're a doll, Shanna. Thank you. Thank you. Have you had the chance to watch new makeup releases nonsense bingo? I can never remember the bloody title of that. But Anna has basically told me I can, oh my God, the amount of glitter that's on this. Anna has basically been like, yeah, you can never film this without me now. And I'm like, that's fair. That's fair. I wouldn't want to because it's so much fun. It's a fun one, Shanna. There's a little twist at the end. Oh, Gregory, you're so kind. Dankeschön. When you do join, I do send a message asking for like birthdays and addresses and bits and pieces because I like to send. That actually reminds me, I have to write some birthday cards, because I have to do some bits and pieces. Yeah, it's definitely me and Anna. Oh my God, when I'm looking at like some of the footage when editing, I'm like, what are we doing? Do I have the adult libation? No, I don't drink. And just as well I'm on a couple of different medications that would make it iffy for me to drink. So I don't. But I will also say that I am such a scattered person that I tend to just be like, I don't really need to drink. I tend to match people's intensity. And Anna is the same. So I really enjoy it. Oh my God, Gaia, I'm so excited. Myself and Gaia, we're filming a video tomorrow and basically we've decided we want to do this like maybe once a month, once every 6 weeks, where we take something and we do a video on it, whatever. And what we decided we're going to do for tomorrow is, screw it, Gaia, do what you want, it's basically like shitty reviews or reviews of shit. So we're finding like weird and funny reviews of makeup products and talking about them and just having a little giggle about them. So I just thought it'd be funny, and I love Gaia, so I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with that anyway. So hurrah! I always enjoy. I think like my best videos are like when I'm with other people and like hanging out. Oh, they are. Gaia, the one that I sent you about Gimli. I'm gonna do some more like research on that tomorrow as well. Yeah, it should be fun. Like it's like I always think the videos I like the most are the ones where I'm with other people, and it comes back to the whole thing of like, why did you join YouTube? And it's I like having a community of people, and I have friends, I have people who care about the same sort of things as me, and I'm like, yeah, hurrah, excellent. And the same. Yeah, Emily, I'm the same. Like, I remember I was out once a couple of years ago and I was just like, because I have like no shame, obviously, and I was just like out on the dance floor and I was like, woo, proper like white girl dancing, because I can't dance and I have no rhythm, but there was a lot of like oomst, 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 and somebody came up to me and they were like, what are you drinking? I was like, my waddy. For those of you who aren't Irish, my waddy is essentially a squash cordial drink. So it's like a fruit, like concentrated fruit juice, and then you put water into it. And people were like, "What? How are you this pumped?" And I was like, "I'm out!" And it's a whole thing. But then simultaneously, I will also get overwhelmed because it'll get too loud or whatever. And I'm like, there's a really specific, like, happy point I have to be in of like homeostasis. I'm like a weird Goldilocks. It has to be, yeah, toomst, toomst. Yeah, I'm weird with going out. If I'm very comfortable with people, then I'm usually okay. And if it's like a very familiar location with me, then I'm okay. But if you put me into an unfamiliar location with lots of unfamiliar people, I will panic. So, it's fun. Oh, Laura, you poor thing. Yeah, the heat is absolutely, I don't like it. But I was saying that like my mum is all excited because she's like, there's great drying in this heat, and she's been going through the house just picking up bits and pieces and being like, right, what can we put out onto the line? Yeah, I think it's an autistic thing that we're like, we can't have too much change. Try and explain that to Sahil all the time, and he's like, I don't get it, because he's like, you're so sociable, and I'm like, sometimes. Oh, I love the sound of that, Missa. No, like, see, the thing is, I know the two of you really well. So I'm like, if I have people that I'm with that I know really well, I can go out and do things. But if it's like, but weirdly, I can kind of go by myself to like new places because I don't feel as self-conscious, and I can go and like do my things that I need to like regulate myself, and I don't feel as like, Elena, hello my lovely. I bloody loved the look that you and Manuela did yesterday. It was stunning. Absolutely amazeballs. Yeah, it's such like a social anxiety thing. Oh, Laurie, like that's a given. We are going to meet at some point. Like literally, actually, exciting thing. Where is it? Where did I put it? I got my little thing from, what's the word? From the HSC. So that's our health services executive, basically with my little travel vaccine passport thing, kind of saying, hey, you're vaccinated. You could go do things. And I'm like, excellent. I quite enjoy it. Also update for anyone who might care or wants to know. Dad is doing okay. He is in his own, well, not in his own ward, but there's like a ward where other people who have tested positive for COVID are sitting, but it's quite funny because basically all of them have had the vaccine. So they're testing positive, but they don't really have any major symptoms. Like they have a minor thing. Like Dad has a little bit of like a head coldy type thing, which just makes you think, oh my God, can you imagine if he hadn't been fully immunized? But like they're all just sitting there kind of like, oh well. But I had originally planned on going to Edinburgh with my parents because they don't really tend to go on holidays unless I kind of bring them. But obviously now that's not going to happen. Like Dad won't be out of hospital for a while, and my mum is not going to be leaving him, so that's totally fine. But I've said, come probably like October, November, etc. We'll go somewhere, and Dad is like, can we go to the markets in Edinburgh? Because he really likes that. So that's one of the plans. And also then Sahil wants to go to like London sometime in November because it'll be his birthday. He's turning 26. Yeah, I'm really glad he's doing better. Like because he still has it, septicemia and staphylococcal infection, which are both very dangerous in and of themselves, never mind combined. We still don't know how he got it because it has to have like an infection site, so it was very strange. But basically the CRP, which is like the level of infection in the blood, has gone down a lot, but it went up a little bit again. But they said that this kind of happens, but what they're doing now is an MRI to just make sure there's no like pockets of infection left. So they're very good, and like he's got like some really fab like nurses and stuff, and like the ward that he's on now, they're like really good with us and like communicating things, but obviously he's just fed up and like he'd like to have visitors, and I'm like, I want to see my dad. So we've already kind of figured out like one of the things that we're going to be doing like once he gets out is just having a day together where we just sit and watch like Disney movies and Gilmore Girls and that sort of thing, because that's like our like joined comfort thing. But I don't know when that's going to be. I've taken a lot of leave because, for anyone who knows, work has been a bit recently, and I just kind of, I don't want to say noped out, but I'm like, I can't be there. So I've taken some, I had quite a lot of leave accumulated, so I'm taking time off until the 19th of August. So a nice chunk of time off. But if needs be, I'll even take some sick days if it's just to hang out with dad and make sure, you know, because like I haven't seen him and I miss him, and it's weird. Also, it's tricky to get a hold of him because he's a little bit deaf, so it's hard to like get him on the phone and know what's going on. Yeah, exactly, Gaia. Yeah, it's fluctuating a little bit, but like they kind of said, oh, that's going to happen because they had to take him off one particular antibiotic because apparently if you're on it too long, it affects the gut, and that's like really strong. But they've taken him off that, so it went up a little bit, but it's going down again. So like it's all good. Yeah, they're comfort watching. Oh, there's Emily. I've been seeing how well you're doing on TikTok. Fair play. I'm not great on TikTok. Like I don't post anything because I'm like, oh, I it's too much for me. But I love watching TikTok. Um, but if you like Gilmore Girls, there's this guy called The Vibe with Kai, and he is watching Gilmore Girls for the very first time, and he like does like a little rundown of each of the episodes and like rates them, and he's really good. I like him. He's like into musical theatre as well, so every so often he sings, and if you catch him in a live, I'm like, oh, he's just a really nice, he seems like a really nice person. So I'm all for that. Also, do you like my mug? Sahil got this for me. And I'm like, it works on so many levels because it says T for Teresa, but also T for tea, and it's green. So it works on many, many levels. Yeah, I hope he comes home too. I think he's also at that point where he's like, I just want to be home. I mean, I know because I spent, what was it? When I was like 20, I spent about 2 months or something in hospital, and it was just crap. Yeah, check out The Vibe with Kai. He's really nice as well. Rafiana, how am I doing? That is a loaded question. Look, do you know what? Like in the grand scheme of things, I'm doing okay. Um, you know, like I don't want to be all like, oh my god, my life is so hard, because you know what? In the bell curve of it all, it's actually not that bad. You know? But pain is pain, having a couple of issues, but do you know what? I have said this so many times to my friends, like in the Patreon group, etc. Like you guys have to listen to me whinge so much. If I didn't have you and obviously my like long-standing friends like Kate, Maeve, etc., I don't know what I'd be doing. Like I think I'd have lost my mind like a long time ago. So, you know, it just shows how important like social support actually is, and like having like a good system in there. Do you like my earrings? These are the ones that Miss have. So has grammar. What is wrong? Look, I'm gonna blame the heat for this, but they're so cute. I had to get them because I am the Irish version of a Missa. Sort of like a Poundland version of whatever it is that you find, and you're like, oh, here's a Poundland version of Barbie, and the face is like, it's like, but I'm just a more half-arsed one. I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered to like blend for a million years. Like I was watching Missa and Daniela's live at the weekend, and Daniela was like, oh, you know, just leave it as it is, it's fine, it'll blend. And Missa was like, oh, that's a very Teresa thing, like, you know, just like, that'll do. And I'm like, oh, Shanji knows it's time to chill out. I am so here for this eye look though, by the way. Just It was just a quick 20-minute look. But I was like, yeah, let's do this. And these are the lashes I ended up cleaning in Daniela's live the other day, because she was like talking. I was like meant to be editing, but none of that was working yesterday. I was like, la la la, and just really butterflies. Got them on AliExpress. Yeah, I got a whole chunk of them. Actually, hold on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring you over to the ones that I have. Excuse me. Jesus. Bear with me because I'm in my parents, so I have like everything like all over the place. Okay, so I have like these little goldy butterfly-y things. So I got those on AliExpress, good old AliExpress. Now it'll take you 5 million years for them to get to you. Yeah, like I cleaned the lashes and I curled them as well. I got these. I think they're very cute. And these. And these. And they were only like, I think it was like €2 each or something like that. I'm like, I will fool people into thinking I know how to do makeup just by gluing things onto myself. Because my looks are not very complicated or like, you know, whatever. It's just like, oh, I'll just glue it to my face. I have lots of other like little bits and pieces that I've gathered along the way, like these cute little hearts, like little gemstone-y thingies. I've used a lot of these at some point. I like these. They're like kind of like shell pieces. They're quite cool. Haven't used these yet. They're quite small, but I like the look of them. It's like, how many gems do you need, Tris? All of them. And I'm so weird. I just end up reusing all of them again because I don't like throwing them out. Because I'm like, oh no, I don't want it to go into a landfill. So that's, and then I have some more gems. Yeah, I have a whole chunk of stuff there. But yeah, I always end up reusing them. So I sit down. It's probably a bit ridiculous, like me sitting down and like cleaning them all off. But I'd rather do that than just like shove them into a landfill, I suppose. You know, when I'm like, okay, you can just take a few minutes to like clean them and then you can reuse them. So I just put my phone in for charge again because, you know, modern phones are really crap with battery. Oh, children, good Lord. How many gems do you want? Yes. That's pretty much me. And I'm like, oh, I'll just put a few more on. I saw this amazing TikTok of somebody who had like put gems all over their face. And I'm like, they had like put it like so that they looked like a skull. Yeah. Yes, avoid single plastic waste. Can I send you links? Yeah, it'll take me a little bit to go through. Bloody throw them away. Okay, actually what I'll do is I will later on get links for all of these and put them under this video or into the description box or something. Yeah. I've seen some people who like just throw them away. They're like, and I'm like, why are you throwing them away? Gluing things to the eyes is the new trend. Honestly, yeah. If you take away the stuff that I glue to my eyes, it's just like a very simple look. And I'm like, God damn it. This is the thing that makes it look semi-interesting what I've done. That and like a little bit of graphic liner. Oh my God, if I could actually see what I was doing, that would be amazing. Like I'm half considering at some point saying about getting like, laser eye surgery, but I'm also aware that like I have astigmatism, so it means that my eyes are this shape instead of this shape, so that like distorts things. So I don't know how suitable that is for laser eye surgery. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, tea. I love how like my lives are so different to everyone else's because I'm just like, no, I can't sit and do makeup and chat with you because I can't bloody see anything. So instead you just have me sitting on a couch nattering, talking Shite. Oh, I love, by the way, as well, that like on Instagram, one of my most liked photos now is nothing to do with makeup. It's the little baby cardigan that I made. Contacts at the moment, because of the strength of my prescription, I can't get contact lenses that will give me my full vision that I have with my glasses. So for me, I'm like, oh, there's no point. Because particularly like if I'm driving or whatever, I want to have 100% of my vision, because like things like, you know, if anything happens, you know that insurance ones will just be like, oh yeah, we're not going to pay out because you were wearing contact lenses rather than your glasses, and this is partly your fault or whatever. I'm probably thinking about it too much, but I'm also like, I don't trust humans. So yeah, the baby cardigan, that came out really well, but that's like my most one of my like most liked pictures so far, and I'm like, god damn it. But my cousin like sent me pictures of the baby in the cardigan. I was like, you put the child into the cardigan, it's so warm. Like, I started making this before there was a heat wave, and now I'm like, what was I thinking? But it should still fit her coming into like the like autumn winter months as well, so I'm like, hopefully. Oh, and I got like some lovely stuff from Kasia as well. Kasia sent me on some like nice Colourpop bits, because you guys were asking me about what else I got. Bear with me. Eee. Oh, and my Clarity Cosmetics from Nina, Tia, Rebecca, Mary, and a few others. Daniela, can't remember everyone who chipped in to get me something for my birthday. It arrived the other day. It arrived a little smashed. 3 of the shades were a little smashed, but nothing major. Like we can live with it. So I like sat in my kitchen, and I didn't want to put any isopropyl alcohol into it because I was afraid that it would change. Yeah, Anne-Marie, yes, you were in there as well. I didn't put any isopropyl alcohol into it because I was afraid it would change the formula, so I just kind of just smacked it in there. Ah, okay. Rigid glass permeable contact lenses. Because my astigmatism is awful in both eyes, I actually see much better with them than my glasses. Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, okay. Charlotte, aka Pie of Pidonia, you're the same as me. We're in this together. Oh, Erica, you're so good. Dankeschön. I was the 2. Am I chopped liver? Yes, Elena, you are always chopped liver. Always chopped liver. Do you not know that? I purposefully didn't mention you just so you could have a complex. Well, it's gorgeous. Like, I was just sitting there, like, swatching bits of, like, mostly the stuff that had, like, I don't want to say fallen apart, but it had, like, it had arrived smashed. So I was just like, I'll swatch the bits that are excess, but it's very pretty. So I'll be doing something on that as well soon. So that's handy. That's an extra little video. I don't produce enough tears for contacts. My eyes are always dry. Do you want me to like sit and like tell you sad stories? Sit and watch Bambi. I'm still utterly... I think that might be what started off me being a vegetarian. I was probably watching things like Bambi when I was really young and just being like, ah! But anyways, Kasia got me the lovely Colourpop High Tide palette. She got me the Hang Teal like duos and the Wave Breaker duo as well. So I'm looking forward to playing with that as well. I want to do a video on that. I have so many like things that I want to do a video of, but I'm like, I never have enough time to do everything. Oh god, I love Thumper. My friend of mine got me like a Thumper, like a Thumper teddy, and like it smelled of like strawberries or something. It was really nice. I don't know where I've put it because I've moved so many times in the last couple of years. I just don't know where 99% of my stuff is. It's very annoying. I know, I'm surprised. We have quite a few people here. That's bananas, lads. Bananas. Daniela, my love, how are ya? Daniela was dealing with me earlier because I was like just sending her random like little videos of me oomsting because I was like doing this, and the heat has broken my brain, and I was talking to her about a particular song and I couldn't remember the name, and I need technology to get to the point where I can just like hum a bit of a tune and it will tell me what it is. But it was like a dance tune, so there was like no lyrics that I could even check. So anyways, I was just like, it's this one. Do 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 do. So she was like, yeah, that's Children by Robert Miles. I was like, thank you. So me being me, had to listen to that on repeat for about an hour. So that's what I was sitting doing like bits of my makeup to, and I was really not annoyed, but I was like, oh, okay, I have to turn that off while going I video this eye look, because I can't have that music on when I'm videoing, or yeah, it's Children by Robert Miles. It's so good. Nina, my love, how are you? How's it going? I know, it's very difficult being this attractive. Oh, I go nuts if I can't remember a song. Like, it drives me bonkers. At any point I have like random songs in my head. Like yesterday I was going around singing It's Raining Men. But only like what happens is my brain picks snippets of the song, not the whole song, just snippets of it, and goes, right, it's this line that you're going to focus on. And this is why I think that TikTok was made by neurodivergence, because they're like, here, let me take a little clip of something and have it on repeat, and you don't ever have to press repeat, it will just keep repeating. So it is a very good like exercise song. I associate it with swimming because it used to always be on in the swimming pool when I was younger, like we were going for swimming lessons. So yeah. Ah, Nikki, I feel you. I mean, look, the very fact that you are awake, well done. We view it as an unmitigated success, quite frankly. I have so many things that I have to review. I also got oh, a Tonka. The eye look took about 20 minutes, so it was nice and easy. But yeah, I have so many like things that I have gotten that I have yet to like test and do videos on. So I'm like, Tracy, you need to like calm your tits and not buy as much new stuff, because you have stuff that you haven't tested yet because you're ridiculous. Like I have Charlie Betty Beauty, which is a UK brand. That was a B1TCH to get over here. Because they don't ship to Ireland, so I had to have it like shipped to a UK address, like on my address pal, and then I had to pay like customs and all this, and I was like, oh, if I'd have known that I wouldn't have bothered. But anyways, I got this really cute palette and some lipsticks as well, so I'll do a little video on that as well, because I want to pre-film a few things, because obviously when I'm going off to Edinburgh for almost a week, I won't be like editing during that time. I will be filming some stuff with Daniela and Tamissa. They'll be fucking sick of me by the end of it. And like the way that I am, I'll be like really excited about like being around them, and I'll be like, yay, we'll hang out. But the likelihood is, I'm really glad I have a week off after that. Like I'm still on leave, but I will be like just very much to myself for the next week. Then I'll just be like, oh, okay. Okay, I'm just gonna lie down here in the dark. Emily, I can't wait to see. Very excited. I'm intrigued by E-Unique. Really, really intrigued. We sing Reboil the Kettle to the tune of Reboil the Kettle. I like it. Oh, and we also realised that the time that R&R changed was, when Missa came over and visited me. Nina, well, if you can, see if you can, I know you're like Not that you're busy, because busy implies like it's work or something that you can put aside. I know you have a lot of stuff going on, but like if you can, you know, you're more than welcome to come and hang out with us. One day my brain will follow a route of thought. No, it's gone. Whatever it was that I was going to say, it's gone. Oh well, who cares? Probably wasn't that important anyways. Bought the green one. Good girl. Good girl. That's what I like to hear. This is a very booby top. There we go. Monetized, not monetized. Monetized, not monetized. I cannot be contained by simple brassieres. Actually, I'm not even that big a boob cup. It's like I'm just a D. You know? It's not that bad. Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you, Emily. You're the best. Yeah, I realised that it changed on the 8th of August. So I'm actually going to be over, like the 8th of August last year. I'll be over with Missa, because she's letting me stay with her, from the 7th to the 12th. So we're going to film R&R together. Now, it's going to change just that day that we're filming it, because we're not going to do like a typical R&R where we do the lightning round and stuff, because it's going to be too difficult for me to put all of that together while I'm on holidays. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the 10 things that I've been tagged in the most that week and do the typical like polling thing, and we'll just sit and we'll chat about that. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Very good. Taking care of me. Yeah, so I was just saying, like, it's almost like an anniversary edition as well of like when R&R first started. So we kind of figured like our theme will probably just be holiday, and we'll film it on like the Wednesday. And I was like saying that we'll call it like, because I've changed the names as well, so it's like, you know, releases and rants such and such a date, the one where, and but I'm gonna call that one the one where we wine and wine, because it's holiday, so they can get margaritas or whatever, and I'll just sit with tea, because you know, but I will also like hop off of their energy, because I have a tendency to do that. So I'm looking forward to it, very much looking forward to it. Oh, me too, Daniela, me too. And I'm not going to bring too much makeup with me, because I'm a bit nervous of traveling with makeup, because I don't want it to smash. But I'm obviously bringing the It's Belle palette, and I'm going to bring one of the Iceland like Nomad one, because that one makes me want to weep. It's so beautiful. It's so good. It's so good. I've also noticed I have a lot of like outtakes to put up onto Patreon. I have quite a few things. But I noticed that every time I'm doing new makeup release, or if any time I'm around Anna, I start to channel Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek, and I start going like, oh, is it for baby? Or something stupid like that. And I'm like, what is it? I think it's because I know Anna also loves Schitt's Creek. And then I become Moira Rose. Which I don't hate, because I like Moira Rose. She's pretty cool. Brianna, my love, how are you? I'm very booby today. This is also a top that Brianna got me from Torrid. So, Brianna knows me well. Moira Rose is freaking gold. There's like a TikTok of just her for like 30 seconds saying bebe for lots of different things, and it was amazing. Yes, Victoria. Absolutely. Yeah, we can meet in Stirling. Yeah. I mean, I won't have a car or anything with me, so I just have to try and figure out like public transport to get from Alloa to there. So I'll figure it out. Brianna, you're fabulous, darling. Working away. I'm glad you got your work stuff sorted. Like, check. I hate when that sort of thing happens. It's very annoying. Oh my God, Elena, not as much as, remember the gold dress? That was like proper like boob. Boob. Actually, that's a dress I should bring with me to Scotland. I have it somewhere in Carlow, but I'm going there this weekend, so I'll grab it, and I'll make sure I bring it with me. I'm on in the background. Excellent. Well then, Brianna, you won't see me jiggle my boobs. There we go. Oh yeah, she will. Yeah, that's right, Victoria. I'll defer to, yeah, Daniela. I think I have a picture of that somewhere of me in that dress, because it's just like, it's like cut out so that you can just see boob. Like, it's ridiculous. And like, I wore it once in front of Sahil and he lost his mind. So he'll be like, why are you wearing this away from me? It's such a pity he can't come over, but like, obviously, like, he's not from the EU, so it's trickier for him to travel within the EU. He has to like get a visa, and obviously also is not vaccinated yet, although he has signed up for it. It's just because he's a young sprig of a thing, so it they're a little bit slower on getting him. So, and he's like, I want the Pfizer, and I'm like, you'll take what you are given and you'll be thankful for it. You don't have to be 20 years younger. You can be your own age and come and frolic. Quite frankly. Dawn, it's not a thing around age. Flop, 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 flop. I'll have none of that. Oomst, oomst, oomst. So I'm very distracted now by the fact that these make like little noises. And I'm probably aware that you guys aren't hearing that noise, but I'm hearing that noise, and anyway, it's a thing. Oh no, it's a riveting live. So helpful and so cool. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Yeah, so I got like the triochrome. Ooh, snack. What snack is it, Gregory, apart from yourself? I know, Kimberly, we need to have like a global meetup. Like, I'm desperate for that. That would be so cool. Oh yeah, Brianna, because your mum is actually allergic to so many things. So she's really depending on, you know, the herd immunity and people not being idiots. Oh, good question, re kitty cats. Hold on. Brianna friggin' loved the Botanic Panic collection. Gorgeous. I mean, like, the highlights etc are not blinding, but that's fine. That's fine. Didn't necessarily want it to be. I wanted it to be like, you know, a radiant sort of a look. Don't know why I'm talking like that. No, Cece isn't here. Where did I? Hold on. You can see me in natural light now. Can't help it. So beautiful. Right, I'm going to go out into the sun. That is how white I am. Oh my God, I can actually feel the heat. It's disgusting. Which one are you? Which cat are you? That's one of them. Hold on. Can I? Oh, I can, yes. You can see one of them is in the driveway. Don't know which one. And I do not have socks or shoes on because it is too warm. Gadunk. And yes, I am walking outside barefoot. I just can't. I'm constantly brushing Cinnamon, and here's just of his fur, just like randomly around the place. So, oh, is that Cece emerging out of the trees? Hello, baby cat. How is you? You coming to mama? Oh yeah, I'm properly pale. Victorian ghost. Irish hobbit. Yeah, about the same height. Although, like, my feet are not as, like, white. Hi, Mum. Still on the live. Do you want to say hello?
Oh, you're still on the live.
Do you want to say hello?
A very quick hello.
Mammy just got her hair done, so she's looking fabulous.
Oh, do you think so?
Yeah, you're looking beautiful.
Yeah. Anyway, bye-bye.
Yeah.
No. There's
Cece's here.
Cece would like to take part in the live.
Yeah, there you go. There's Cece. She turned up pretty quickly. And that's my mammy. She's lovely. I've grown fond of her after 30-something years. 31 years. Well, almost 31 years. It'll be 31 years in November. That's my adoption day. So I think she's gotten used to me now. Do we have any other cats around? Cinnamon! Normally when I call, he turns up. Also, you can see really around here that we have so many bits of fur. See all that white bit? That's his fur from me brushing him. Oh, and speaking of, hello Hi, beautiful boy. Oh dear. As you can tell, he's still very uncomfortable in my presence. Really doesn't like me. Yeah, he was having little dreams last night. I put it into a little video into the WhatsApp of him like dreaming in his little paws, like twitching. Yeah. I brush you all the time, but you're always shedding. He's like, yes. Mom, love me. I do. I love you so much. I love you. He's precious, aren't you? Oh, you're tired. Are you tired? Oh, I love you, sir. He's like, oh, good, good, good. Because I have grown fond of you and I live here now. Darcy is still not fond of him. Isn't he gorgeous, Elena? I knew you'd like him. He's a proper baby, aren't you? Oh, big yawns because you're so tired because of all this heat. And there's walking flies everywhere. And he was in hanging out with me last night, just chilling on the couch. Isn't he gorgeous? I absolutely adore him. Oh, he's like, Mum, you stopped cuddling me. Oh, Mum, why did you stop cuddling me? They're so cute. Yeah. So that's one, and then there's another one over there. I'm always like, hello, Cece, are you all right? She's like, no, you are giving him attention. Cats are the best. And like, I always find it interesting when people say they prefer like dogs to cats, which I'm like, okay, I get it. But they say things like, oh, you know, dogs like you instantly and you have to work for a cat. And I'm like, oh, you mean like you have to earn a cat's consent for love and attention? Feels like a patriarchal move. Oh, okay, this is Cece. This is her. She's like, oh, it fogged. And then Zinny's like, Zinny has like the most like happy looking little face. Like he actually like smiles, don't you, baby? Don't you? You mummy's little boy. He's like, I am. I'm so smiley. Smiley man. Oh God, I can't cope with how freaking sweet you are. Yeah. Oh dear. Oh, and there's Emmy. Hello, Emmy. Yes, indeed. Emmy is 14 years old now, so she is the matriarch of the house. My parents' house is huge. I suppose, yeah, it would be like for, like if you compared it to like living in a town, but this is pretty like average for like living out in the country. That's just how it is. Of course, you know, it's not valued as much as say a townhouse because of the address. All right, Emmy. Dawn said you're beautiful, you're gorgeous. Emmy's like, I am. She's a lady. Oh yeah, Calico, she's absolutely stunning. She's my older lady. You want to say hello? She's like, maybe. I'll have a think about it. Oh my God, it's so warm. Like I can actually feel like my feet on the ground. Like it's boilingly hot. Isn't it Cinny? Cinny is like, I don't know what's happening. And then Sargie is there in the driveway. Hey, Kaylee, how are you, darling? Yeah, and also this is, by the way, like what my parents' garden looks like. Pretty... Woo! You all right there, Emmy? She was like sitting on my foot there for a second. I can't be out in the sunshine for any longer because I'll die. But now you can actually see how pale I am in natural light. Fading in to into the background. There we go. Can't be out in the sunlight anymore. There we go. There we go. I love my cats too. So you got to see 4 of them. So you just didn't see Louie and Darcy. So Louie is a little black cat and Darcy, I mean, you've probably seen pictures of him on my Instagram. He's a little tuxedo boy. last night he managed to, I'll show you. I'm bringing you into my parents' kitchen now. Mum will be like, don't bring them around the house. He got up here, like just up here, because he's a brat. But yeah, Mum was like, I want to get into my kitchen, but it's all right, you're fine. Yeah, it's safe, you're fine. Jackie managed to get up there and I was like, how did you do that? Okay, actually, do you know what? I like showing makeup in natural light so you can actually see what it looks like. Sorry, I'm so white that it just always reflects off me in this way. But you can kind of, if I go back, there we go. You can see what it all looks like without, because like, you know, obviously if you've loads of like bright lights, it makes your skin look a certain way, or it makes it look better, or it makes it look worse. This is what I look like in reality with my makeup. Yeah, I'm gonna annoy poor Daniela for tips on how to like perfect my base. Now, actually, I did take one of her tips, which was taking the highlight and buffing it into the skin in like circular motions and bringing it down. And I think that's part of why I have this nice kind of glass effect, which I'm here for. I like that. You got ID'd twice yesterday. Good Lord, Dawn, what is the... How did you do that? Shanji used to get on top of kitchen cabinets. It's dusty there. Yeah, little brats, aren't they? Terrible, terrible. So much cooler in here. Sorry, I'm just spinning around. I don't know why I'm spinning around. Kylie Minogue of me, really. Oh, that's much better. That could be why he went up there, Dawn. To be fair, he did go up there at about 11 o'clock at night. So I think it was just his constant attempt to find chicken or ham or whatever it is that he's looking for. Yeah. Oh, Emily, it came out so nice. Like when you buff it in like that. Lucy, how are you, my love? How's it going? This is a very in-depth live. It's not doing F all. We saw some cats. We had a little chat. As advertised. Solving the world's problems. Ah. Actually, if anyone has any questions, put them to me right now. Because I'll probably F off in a little bit. I don't sit in the sun. Yeah, never sit in the sun. Don't sit in the sun. It's not good. That's how you screw with your skin. Chats and cats. Exactly. I mean, statistically, I'm likely to find at least one cat nearby when I have 6 of them now. Like, it's ridiculous, but in the best way. Very, very happy about that. What is your favourite album artist right now? Okay, this is, I don't even know if it necessarily counts, but I have been listening to Bo Burnham's Inside album 5 million times. Like, I love it so much. So I particularly fell in love with the song 30 because I'm like, yes, that hits me in the feels. But in terms of other things that I'm listening to, I have a tendency that I will like click onto one song and I will just listen to it over and over and over and over again. So I will kind of fixate. So yeah, that's the whole thing. But I'll always go back to things like Evanescence, a bit of My Chemical Romance, that sort of thing. I know there were other questions there. Hold on. Oh, you finally got to order the Underworld bundle. Oh, Kimberly, you're gonna love it. Am I doing a giveaway? No, not right now, I'm afraid. Oh, Katie, you're so sweet. What was my first cat? My first cat was a tortoiseshell cat, and she was, I think, about 3 years old by the time that we adopted her. She was a rescue cat. She was practically feral, but I ended up making her love me, and she stayed with us from when I was about 10 years old, and she died when I was 18. So she lived a good life and was very, very, I think she was older than 3. Like they told us she was 3, but I think she was like older than that. am I taking all the cats home after? No. So Sargi, Emmy, and Louis have been here for the last, I don't know how many years. So they stayed here when I went to the UK because it would have been too much to bring them with me. When I was in the UK, I got Cece, brought her back. She's used to being with me constantly. She has to be around me. Darcy, I got when I was in Carlo. Actually, Sahil got Darcy for me. And Darcy will likely come back with me. I want to bring Cinnamon back. However, he really likes it here because he has like a lot of space, and also himself and Darcy keeps trying to like go for him. So I'm like, would he be more comfortable here without Darcy? Like, I know my parents will take really good care of him. So it's just, I'm trying to think about what would be best for the cats, essentially, is my rationale there. Do. Can't own a cat, so I literally go on walks in the evening to get the neighborhood cats. Yeah, that's fair. I would do the exact same thing. Yeah, Bo Burnham is amazing. You need to check him out. Oh, yeah, well, Elena, that's what you get for running. It's not good for you. I haven't actually listened to any K-pop. It takes me a while to get into new things. I'm really weird and not very good with like new things. I have to be like introduced to things gradually. I'll listen to the same song or album on repeat until I get bored or find a new one. Yeah, that's what I do as well. What are your giveaway? I'm not doing a giveaway. I got the Underworld bundle too. Ah, yes. Yeah, I'm a creature of habit, very much so. I like what I like. I don't like when any of my transitions or my like rituals are changed. Like if anything is like when I was really young, like at the back of our house there were like a load of trees, and I came back one day and there was no warning, and they were all cut down because they were making a new shed. I bawled, I flopped to the ground full, I think it was 5 or 6 at the time, and just totally freaked. And I'm like, really? Like, why have you done this to me? Why have you changed this and not told me about this? Like, it's very upsetting. What's your top 5 products? Us cry if they got Dico? Oh, what's your 5 products that you would cry if they got discontinued? Let me think. I'm trying to think of like any stuff that I really cannot be without. Okay. The Fenty Lip Stunner paints, I think, are excellent. I actually think that Fenty needs to do more of those. Like, they need to come out with more formulas and more colors of those, because those are amazing. The Dior Undercover foundation, I want to hate it, but it is my go-to if I have, like, say, an interview or something, and I want to look really fresh and I want to look really good. If they stopped making that, I would be a little bit panicked, because I'd be like, okay, what do I have that's similar to that? And I can't think of anything that gives me the same sort of quality of that. What other things? I mean, obviously, I love Lowe's Cosmetics and the eyeshadow palettes, etc. But if they did discontinue them, I'm like, I have those, so I'm okay. Hold on now. I'll find out. I can't think of it offhand, Dawn. Let me just check, because I have it. Sorry. Everything is a mess around here because I am an absolute joke. Okay, the one I have is 010 Ivory Forever Undercover. Absolutely, like, I love that. I love it so much. I also really like the Be Perfect like eye primer. which is a bit of a pity because I'm not really going to be buying any more from them. So that's... But I don't know if there's anything that I'm like necessarily like I would have a canary about, like, oh my God, if they discontinued or stopped doing them, I would be like really, really upset. I think maybe like some skincare stuff that I would get upset about. You know, like I like my Glow Recipe, like the watermelon mask, like that sort of thing. Oh, this. The Inky List C50 Blemish Night Treatment. I absolutely love this because I get like some blemishes sometimes. I think it's just like due to stress, and if I was without this, I would... Oh, Kimberly, it's like, okay, like, it's just me being probably silly or whatever, like, and I'm not telling anyone else not to buy from them, but I don't love that they know all of the stuff with Jeffree Star, but they're still stocking him after they know all of the stuff. So I don't love that, and that kind of gave me the ick. And then the whole thing with, you know, Jeffree Star obviously has built a lot of his reputation on like attacking influencers who don't like their like his products. And then my experience with the Vivian wasn't great, and I'm kind of like, oh crap, are they aligning themselves with people who are like that? But that's just a me thing. I'm not saying for anyone else to do that. Lord knows, Jesus, you're all big enough to make up your own minds. It's just, that's a me thing. That's a me thing. Yes, I do have a backup for the Underworld palette because I am a weirdo. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. I need a list of pale foundations. The Dior recommendation is great. Yeah, it's so good. Like, it's so good to the point that when I wear that, Sahil actually comments and goes, that looks lovely. And he never comments on anything because, like, he just doesn't care. What else would I recommend from the Inky List? Let me think. Like, I quite like the Inky List in general. Like, I think they have a lot of like really good stuff. Like, I like their like oat cleansing balm. I think that's really good. I have to try out a few other bits from them, but at the moment that's all I can like really like happily say, like, yeah, I'm good with putting not money on it, but like saying like, yeah, you go off and get that. It works for me. I recently got the, was it Systemic Blemish treatment as well from the Inky List, so I'll probably be trying that out as well. I've got some boots stuff because I want to do a little bit more stuff on like skincare on my channel. Lois, my love, how are ya? So yeah, yeah, I like the Inky List. I think they're very good. You know, they're cheap, they're cheerful, they do what I need them to do. Yeah, and like it's not wildly expensive either. I get that with a discount with Boots, like with student discounts and stuff, so it's pretty good, you know. Nothing like a good cleanser, but I am a bit weird where I'll use several cleansers at the same time because I am worried about keeping too much makeup on, so I'm just like, nah. Oh, don't worry, Katie, you're fine, don't worry. That happens to me all the time. Ah, this is where you went. Sorry. As long as I'm not a minute behind the live, that would be weird. That would be really weird and awkward. Do we have any other questions? The Aldi Pineapple Cleanser at the moment. So when I finish that. Yeah. My God, I have the Aldi stuff as well in front of me. Do you know what annoys me though? Because I actually really liked these, but I assume they only come in with these for like a period of time so that they don't get like sued. So I'm like near the end of them. Like I don't have much of these left. you know, really dipping in. Sahil keeps going for this, the brat. The cats are good, Lois. We just saw 4 of them went outside. What lipstick am I currently wearing? This is from the MAC Botanic Panic collection, and it's in Tulip Service. It's really nice now. It's a matte formula, so it's like if you don't like a matte finish, you know, you may not like it, but I will say it's actually a very comfortable matte. Kaylee, I don't think you're going to find that watermelon moisturizer, because I think they just made it like as a once-off item, because I've been looking for it since then. The Revolution watermelon moisturizer one is really nice for when you run out of the Aldi. Ah, good to know. Good to know. I'm personally trying to stay away from Revolution stuff, but that's just a personal thing. Again, not gonna tell other people not to get them. Just a me thing. Just a me thing. I mean, I have loads of options. I mean, like, I could not buy makeup for the next 3 years and I would be fucking fine. So I need to just chill and use a certain amount of what I have, particularly when it comes to like foundations and blushes. Like, I could never buy another blush. Like, I could go the rest of my life without buying another blush and I have enough, you know. Planet Revolution. Well, I was thinking I'll probably go in the next maybe 10 minutes or so, because it's just like an informal chat. I'm not really doing anything, you know, just a hangout. Plus, I'm very aware Sahil, even though I've told him I'm doing a live, he has the memory of a fucking sieve. And I'm saying 3 years in terms of like foundations, Brianna. You know. But yeah, like, I have told Sahil I was doing this live, but he will forget and he will ring me, and then that will disrupt the live. And yeah, he rings me many times a day, at least 2 times. It's almost like he likes me or something, you know. I feel annoyingly secure in this relationship. Don't know what to do about that. Am I going to try the Physicians Formula bronzers that smell like cake, donuts and coffee? Physicians Formula is not wildly affordable by the time it gets to Ireland, which is really bloody annoying. I will also say I feel like they didn't go deep enough in their shade range. So I'm not sure what they've done on that. It was a bit of a weird one, in my opinion. If I could get it here for a right price, I'd consider it. But again, I'm trying to avoid brands these days that are not making enough attempts towards inclusivity, because that really bugs me. Am I going to do true crime videos? Do you know, the next one that I want to do is, oh my God, it has left my brain, and it was a suggestion by Sarah, and it was, no, brain has completely gone. Yeah, I'm planning on doing one of those. Like, I want to pre-film a couple of things before I go off to Edinburgh, so I want to do one of those in the next while. I was thinking I'll probably like use the lovely stuff that Kasia sent me on, and I'll sit down on that and talk about this particular thing that I'm looking at, or I have been looking at. Cannot remember the name because my brain has fallen apart. Kayla, I don't really know. Well, you see, what's happening now is I've cancelled the hotel that I'm staying at, so I'm actually staying with Missa, so that'll make it a lot easier. Teresa, what was the brand that did a full multi-chrome palette? Well, there's actually a few, Chrissy. There's Sugar Drizzle, there's It's Belle Cosmetics. Like, I actually have It's Belle here. I would personally go with It's Belle, my love, because it's not wildly expensive. And you get 9 shades there, and they're buttery. Delicious. So I would I would have a little look at that. I must compile, like, if you go through the PDFs from R&R, if you go through like Patreon, we have all of those, so you should be able to get all the information on that. But I know that Sugar Drizzle definitely does one. How much was the spell? Do you know what? I'm actually going to look that up now, because I have my laptop here in front of me. Da-dum-bum-bum-ba-dum. $27.99. That is not bad. Like, tell me that is not a bad price. Like, argue with me on this. For real, though. A 9-pan duochrome for $27.99. That's not bad. Can we make a group chat? Actually, do you know what, Kaylee? That is not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. I might do that in the next day or two. Like, put all of that together. Because, like, I know, like, Eve is talking about coming and hanging out on Insta. Yeah, no problem. I'll do that. Hello, Miss Emma, darling. Cleaner and marginally cooler. Oh, that's nice. I'm trying to remember what it was that Sarah had sent on to me. It was like, no. Anyways, I have it in my head as to what it is that that I can do a true crime thing about makeup and murder again. Because I do think they're interesting. I don't do them as well as Bailey Sarian, but sure, look, do you know, Nina, he is on a ward with a couple of other people who've tested positive for COVID. He has a little bit of like a head cold, which we assume is part of the COVID thing because he's tested positive. But because he was fully vaccinated, he's not having any issues with it. His CPR levels, so that's the rate of infection, has gone up a bit, but that's because they had to take him off certain antibiotics which are harsh on the gut. So he is definitely, like, he's improving, and he ate chicken yesterday. He has been picking at food for weeks, so he's actually getting like his appetite back, so we're quite happy about that. It's gonna bug me as to what it was that I was looking up. It was like, it's a UK based killer that I was looking at. I was looking at it and now my brain is just completely gone. It's gone to mush. I blame the heat. What is it? I want to look it up because it's going to drive me bananas. That is not him, is it? Cannot remember. No, it wasn't Harold Shipman. God, why? My brain has completely gone. And it was like, it was really weird. Yeah, anyways, I have information on it somewhere. I just have to get my SH1T together again and undo it. I'm just very bad at that. Should do one on Harold Shipman. He was an interesting one. No, I've done one on Ted Bundy already. The girl with the blue eyes. Yes, thank you. I much appreciate that. Maybe if I look at like what I'm gonna do, because I like, it's actually gonna bug me if I can't think about what it was that I was looking at. I'm gonna look at the last time I did makeup and murder. God, it has been a while. I'm going back into my archives. Back. Yeah, the last one I did was Luis Alfonso Garavito, and he was a weirdo. I'm looking for Sarah's comment, because I think it was Sarah anyway that gave me the idea for this particular one. Oh no, it must have been somebody else. Hold on. No, it was somebody else. No, my brain has gone. It's fallen apart. I will figure it out another time. But I know what it is that I want to do. My brain is just mush, which is always a great sign. Always a great sign. Oh, Emily, that's creepy. It was a man. It was a man. And I cannot think of his name or like where it was. It was somewhere in the UK, and he like dismembered his victims. A few of them were prostitutes, and there was a whole thing around the coroner screwed up, so he got off initially because the coroner said they died of natural causes, and it was like they hadn't. But that coroner also screwed up on like an Ian Bailey case or something as well. So it was really weird. See, that's the thing, Kaylee, it is. I'm going to be like there and like in the middle of the night, just like sitting there and like about to go to sleep, and I'll be like, this is the thing that you were thinking about. I'm going to look up like Ian Bailey coroner screw up. Oh no, now they're talking about like a different Ian Bailey, and it's not the Ian Bailey that anyways, whatever. I need to just not go down that rabbit hole right now. I'll sort that out later. One was a couple streets over from my house in oh, Jesus. Yeah, it's disturbing when it's near your own home and you see things like this. Because like it's different, I think, when you have like distance from it and you can kind of convince yourself like, oh, I'm okay. But when it comes closer to home, it's quite scary. I kept finding body parts. Oh. Yeah, whenever somebody does something like that, when they chop somebody into pieces, there's a lot going on there where they have dehumanized the person. Like, it takes a lot to kill somebody, but it takes even more to dismember, because you aren't seeing them as a human being anymore. You're seeing them as an object. It is the final F you. Should have said trigger warning. Sorry. I apologise if that upset people. Oh, Peter Sutcliffe was creepy, but no, not Peter Sutcliffe, not Steve Wright. No, I'll figure it out later and I'll put it into the group and I'll be like, this is the thing that I was talking about. It was something, was it something Ripper? I don't know. The victim was apparently horrible to children. Ah, okay. That kind of makes a certain amount of sense. And that's the frightening thing, Miranda, isn't it? That it's like, why are there so many that I'm like, I can't remember, and you're giving me names and it's still not the correct one. Like, no, not Dr. Crippen. He lived in Australia for a little bit, and it seems something happened in Australia because he never had any history of any issues. No, not the Wests, not the Suffolk Strangler. Miss is going to end up doing like a podcast on all of these, and I'm very excited about this. But no, he like lived in Australia for a little bit, and I'm kind of wondering, did he like have a certain amount of like traumatic brain injury? Because it seems to be that when he came back, he started to engage in this because he had a very like normal childhood, very normal upbringing. There was no instances of abuse, neglect, etc. So it was very weird. Because normally you can kind of, well, not normally, but no, Brianna, no. I didn't let anything slip. Everything's fine. Mrs. Like, you are no longer staying at my house. You have fucked everything up. Fair. Fair. I can't keep track of what's happening anymore. My brain is mush. There is no podcast. Nothing's happening. Nothing happened. I am a bad person. Do you know what? It's one of those things of like the Mandela effect, where like everyone thinks that we saw a thing and it wasn't a thing. Did you see this new Mandela effect where it's like the Britney Spears Oops, I Did It Again, and people are like, I remember that video of her having a headset. I do. I remember her having a headset in that video thing, and I was like, wait, it's not a thing. I don't even, yeah, I don't know if it's true or what the story is, or if people have doctored videos, or I don't know. Anyways, it was on TikTok, but I was like, I don't know. I'm too tired to go and investigate these things, but I thought that was quite cool. You only accept apologies in the form of makeup. Okay, that's fair. I'll have to figure out what to get you. I don't know what to get you. I'm bringing you like a potato, obviously. For some reason I can't get into podcasts. Just don't like them. I can't get my attention on anything that long. I like a podcast when I'm driving. Like, I will usually put on like the Double Cleanse podcast if I'm going for like a long drive. Like if I'm going to Dublin or something and I'm just there like giggling away to whatever it is that Robert and James are saying, and I'm like, hee. Yeah. Have you tried Iron Brew or any Scottish snacks? Yes, yes. Which there's like a bar and it has yellow, red, and white packaging, and it's like stripes, and it's like a bar biscuity thing. Oh my god, could eat that till the house until the cows come home. They're gorgeous. Love them. Iron Brew. I haven't tried that, but I try not to drink fizzy drinks that often. I'm not really technically meant to have fizzy drinks with because I had a gastric sleeve, so I'm not meant to have it. It kind of makes the stomach expand, and it's very uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable. No, he wasn't Scottish. I don't think he was Scottish. It was England. I do audiobooks when driving, but I have to be careful when the windows are down. Yeah, that's fair. Like you're sitting there in traffic, and it's like, and then the cage came down, and I don't know. I'm not very good at coming up with a story. It's the reason why I don't write fiction. Let's Not Meet is a good podcast if you have a short attention span. Ah, interesting. Love that you're just like giving me names now. I'm not. And it's terrifying that there's so many people. Is that Mitchell or what's going on? Sorry, I'm just like, because I saw a comment there that just said like something like Mitchell said, I love this community that you've built, and I'm like, hey, that can't actually be Mitchell. Sorry, just looking back. Da 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 da. Being a weirdo. No, it's gone now. It's not actual Mitchell. I assume so. Oh, am I getting a troll? How day? It's taken me a while, but I'm finally getting one. James said the way you are sat and how my screen is, he feels like you can see him. He may or may not be nude. Oh, I see you. I see you, James. I see you. I love as well that Daniela sent me like a video earlier of her like doing a haul from TK Maxx, and she was like, don't mind James in the background, and James was like, hi. Oh my god, yes, poor Brittany. I think this whole thing of like conservatorship in general is like so wrong. And I think the narrative around like, oh, she shouldn't be under conservatorship, she's clearly fine. It's like, well, nobody should really be under conservatorship. Like, I think that's the issue in and of itself, that we're taking people's own voices away from them, that they're not like being able to advocate for themselves. I'm like, it's so like 18th century. Like, I'm so livid for her. And I'm like, we all know what's going on. Why is this not, like, why are we not just sorting this out now and just booting them off and having her be independent, doing her own thing? She'll obviously have to hire people to like help her manage things because she has crazy amounts of money and bits and pieces, but like, the whole thing is just gross. Like, I don't get it. Like, I genuinely don't get it. Yeah. A massive dehumanization. It's utterly disgusting. Yeah. I'm really disgusted with her father and her brother. Or not brother, sister. Jesus. Been in this situation for so many years, and yeah, this is the thing. This has been going on. Do you know what I find really interesting is when like celebrities are now coming out and saying like, oh yeah, I saw this back in 2008, and I'm like, you have had years to speak about this, and it's only now that you're saying it. Why are you only saying it now? Because you're getting some attention for it. And I'm like, you're not doing this for the correct reasons. So yeah, I don't agree with conservatorships. I think when you start to speak on behalf of other people, I think it's hugely problematic. There's so few cases where you can actually legitimately be like, oh, I understand why there's a conservatorship. Like, and like, it's almost like the conversation is like, oh, well, she's not disabled enough or doesn't have enough issues to be under a conservator. And I'm like, very few people do. Why do we have this? It shouldn't be a thing. Just, that's me going on a rant. I think it's wrong. I agree, Alexandra. If you're going to have it, then you need to have very, very independent bodies, like going into this. Like, it's so weird. Like, it can't. Amanda Bynes is stuck in it because, oh, Jesus, poor Amanda. It's always like these child stars, like, that just get totally screwed over by people who are meant to be looking out for them. Can you imagine being so screwed over by like family? My God, like it gives you like so many trust issues. But it does just show that we're still at that point of totally not understanding mental health and being so, I mean, let's face it, backwards on the whole thing. I don't get it. Yes, the guy that ran the Nickelodeon, he is creepy AF. Like, he's done some really dodgy things. Like, really, really dodgy stuff that I'm like, what's that about? Money turns people into animals, yeah. It's, well, actually, do you know, I was just thinking about that today because I was talking to my mother and I was like, okay, we're all talking about how hot it is. And I'm like, but this is how it's been for the last couple of years. It's just been getting hotter and hotter every summer. And I'm like, we're acting like it's a surprise when we're destroying the planet. And yet we have people who are like, I'm going to space. I'm like, you have so much money. You can sort so many things out. I mean, the Catholic Church has enough money that they could literally end world hunger when they're not doing it. And we've people who are like, I'm going to use my money to go into space for me. I'm like, Jeffrey Bezos, you have so much money. You could solve a whole chunk of this climate crisis. Like, buy up the Amazon forest, put it into like a preservation so that people can't do things. Sorry, I know I'm gone totally off track with what it was that we were talking about, but I'm like, that's such a triggering topic. So I'm like, I don't want to trigger people by talking about SA and all that. I've said this many a time, but I think once you get to 1 billion, like once you become a billionaire, I think that every penny that you make after hitting a billionaire should be put back into education, into health, into social housing, etc. And then you get a certificate that says, well done, you won capitalism. Great. I know that some do that, but they do it in the form of like, hey, now I don't have to pay taxes, and they claim it back like they're being the best. And I'm like, could you not, like? Ugh. Oh yeah, like to actually conceptualize what a billion is rather than a million, it's actually terrifying. It's probably going to use the money to cover their behinds after so many indigenous. I suspect that's exactly what they're going to do, Nikki. I expect that's exactly what they're going to do. I mean, they've been trying to dodge the fact that they did something similar to us here with the mother and baby homes here in Ireland, and they've been trying to silence all of the stuff that happened here. So I expect that they'll do the exact same thing to the Indigenous people and try and lessen their voices and put a price on their pain, which is disgusting. Yeah. So comment like that, every penny over a billion just goes to help the planet and aid suffering. Yeah, I can't do that. I never claim any charity on tax. It seems wrong to me, even though mine is small in comparison. That's the thing. Like I've never done that either. I'm like, it stops then being like truly giving. Like then it becomes, I don't know, self-serving then. Elena, I would say it's more, maybe this is me being very nihilistic. That they're looking into space travel because they're like, we have screwed up the planet. We better go and find somewhere else to live. Oh God, yeah, Miranda, this is a peek into my brain. I'm like, I'm so pessimistic. Oh yeah, the mother and baby homes was horrible, particularly the stuff that happened in Tuam. Well, like hundreds of bodies were found in septic tanks. Just horrible. Same done, same. Yeah, humans. Oh, any time where there's like a power imbalance, I think just people are capable of all sorts. I just don't trust them. It sounds really bad. It sounds really bad, but I'm just like, no, we're not great. We're not brilliant. I mean, I saw this thing on Reddit and there was a girl and she's a YouTuber, cannot think of her name, but she had made this like big I'll explain Kaylee in a second. She made this big like to do about how she wasn't going to buy any more Hourglass because they weren't inclusive, which I'm like, yeah, well done. And then a few days later, she did an Hourglass video about their eyeshadows. And I was like, oh Jesus, why did you even make the first video? It was performative ally. Yes, I am still on Callie. I really should be going in a minute. Kaylee, in terms of the mother and baby home, good old Catholic Ireland. Basically, it was a time where if you got married, quote, or not married, if you got pregnant, quote unquote, out of wedlock, it was a sin. Oh, disgraceful. So you were put into a mother and baby home, which we called them the laundries essentially, and you've seen a lot of movies and stuff like the Magdalene laundries. So pregnant women were put there. They were made to feel like they had done something terrible when they hadn't, and they had to work off their sins. And then when they did give birth, the babies were essentially taken from them. Even if they wanted to keep the babies, they weren't allowed. And they were sold to wealthy Americans under adoption. The film Philomena is about that. But if anything happened to the babies, while they're, they just discarded them and put them into septic tanks. Didn't bother giving them a burial, didn't tell anyone about what happened. And they treated them because they were bastards as being less than. Sorry, it's something that gets to me because I would have technically come from that, being adopted, etc. And that happened up until like the 90s. That was still happening. That's recent history for us. And it's not exactly the same as the Indigenous situation, but it's similar in the sense of It's like, you don't conform to exactly what it is that we want, and we're gonna punish that out of you. We're gonna impact you on that. It's so gross. Yeah, it was horrible, Kaylee. And they found like loads of bodies in septic tanks and stuff. It was absolutely horrible. Did the men have to work off their sins? Of course they didn't, Sophie. Don't say such silly things. Oh, when it comes to, and I'm working on putting together a video. It's not going to be monetized. I'm not going to put any ads into it, but I want to talk about the Irish relationship with the Indigenous people. It's a very special one. We love the Indigenous people. And I want to talk about what's been going on. But I primarily want to signpost people to Indigenous creators. So whether it's on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, etc., because I don't want to be talking on their behalf. Don't think that's correct, but I want to signpost people to them, and then also talk about like some Indigenous companies like Cheekbone. So that is coming, but I'm taking a while because I want to really look into each of these creators and get like a feel for them. Like I don't want to just be like, blah, here, I've looked this up quickly, so therefore I want to look into each of them. Like there's one that I'm like absolutely, oh Missa, yeah, that was the Choctaw tribe. They sent like a crazy amount of money, and that was after the Trail of Tears. So they had been dispossessed of their lands, and they were going through all of this like horrible stuff, and they heard about the famine, and they were like, yeah, they could have very rightly been like, we're going through so much stuff, we're not going to help them. But they went, oh my God, we're going through so much stuff. We know they're going through so much stuff. Let's raise money. And for people who had nothing to raise money and send it over, it's huge. So there's actually like a monument in Cork that was actually sent over by the Choctaw Nation to us. And it's there as like a remembrance of this incredible allyship, which, can I just say, like, there's no way that the Irish didn't at some point do something awful to Indigenous people. Like, there's no way. Like, the Irish were going over there, like, we were being dispossessed of our own lands, and I wouldn't be surprised if at some point the Irish did something very questionable to Indigenous people, and yet the Choctaw still went, hey, here are a group of people who have colonized us, you know, came over from Europe, but we see they're in suffering and they're in pain, and we're going to help them. You try and tell me who are the villains in the story here, you know? But yeah, they like gave like a statue, and there's like a remembrance in Cork for them, and actually the University College of Cork has a scholarship to commemorate like this huge thing. And 3 years ago, actually somebody from the Choctaw Nation earned that scholarship, so ended up studying in UCC, which I just thought was like just this lovely like beautiful circle. But there's a very specific relationship with the Irish and Indigenous nations. We have a big love of each other. Like a friend of mine is actually from the Mohawk tribe, and she came over and lived in Carlow for a while. So it was quite funny because her and her son, and he was in primary school and he was learning Irish. So she was like, it's quite funny that we have an Indigenous kid here and he's learning Irish. Like, who would have thought that? But it was quite cool. But yeah, I want to spend a lot more time researching into that, and not just kind of going, yeah, here's a performative video. Like, I want to sit and think on it for a while. And like, there's a TikToker that I've been really, I can't say that I've been enjoying him, because it's not, the goal is not to enjoy, it's to educate. And he's called Modern Warrior, and he will make you feel uncomfortable, like, because he's like, it's all about like his experiences of racism and like his everyday life. And you're not going to be sitting there kind of going, oh my God, I'm going to binge all his videos. What you should actually be doing is sitting down, watching one of his videos, ruminating on it, thinking about it, taking in what he's saying, and kind of going, okay, what can I do? Well, how can I change the way that I'm acting in the world to make this a little bit better? I think he's very good with the mass eye donating. Oh God, yeah. Like, oh yeah, it's ridiculous the amount of stuff that we're not taught. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Charlotte, we actually have we call them educate together schools here, rather than no more faith schools. And what they do is they teach about the different religions and how we're all actually quite similar, and that there's like similarity across these particular things. Yeah. It's funny because like myself and Sahil talk about colonization quite a bit, because obviously he's Indian, I'm Irish. We all had to go through, not we had to go through, but we experienced a certain amount of colonization, and still impacts us today. Like, you know, Irish isn't as widespread as it should be. And like even in India, this whole idea of like whiteness as being beauty is still a thing over there. And that, like, even if you look at Bollywood, those of darker skin tone are primarily cast as like the villains, and those who have a lighter skin tone are the heroes. And that's the after effects of colonization. That's still there. Like, it's nuts. But I do love one of my favorite stories, and Sahil didn't know this because I was telling him about this. And there was a region in India where the British were staying, and they couldn't deal with all the cobras, because obviously cobra is dangerous, and they issued a reward of like X amount of pounds if you got rid of it, like if you brought a cobra to them and killed a cobra. So what the Indians actually did was they captured cobras, started to breed them, and just were bringing them to the British, kind of going, we got you this. But they eventually figured out what it was that they were doing, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. As an Indian, I still have to catch myself for deifying white. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, it's nuts. Like, even, I mean, we see so much in media, just how there's this huge amount of white privilege. Like, it's bananas. There was a really interesting study where they looked at the cover of Vogue magazine, and they were looking at like the breakdown of like ethnicity, whiteness that was on it, and all I'll say is it's primarily white people on the covers of Vogue. It's very scary. Like, it's ridiculous. And I do love that, because obviously my partner is on my Netflix. He excuse me, he watches a lot of like Indian movies. So now I'm getting way more suggestions around that sort of thing. So I'm getting like a much more rich piece of information on this thing, and I love that. I'm really enjoying that. Bathe in Dettol fluid and use creams. It's, oh yeah, that is horrible. Ashamed of Scotland, our own Highland clearance history. Yeah, there's unfortunately there's a lot of really dark history out there, and we tend to skirt over it, and we have to acknowledge the bad stuff with the good stuff. You know, it's, unless we're doing that, we're not really learning from things, and we're going to keep making the same mistake. I think history is actually very important to understand, because if we don't do that, we keep making the same mistakes. It's just, this has been a very weird life. Everyone else is like, we're going to sit and we're going to do makeup, and I'm like, let me tell you about one of my special interest topics. That's the thing. Give somebody like me something like that, and we do have a tendency to get a little bit obsessive. It's ridiculous how if someone is born with deeper skin, it's not as desired, but white people making themselves that dark is more. Oh my God, there's this thing on TikTok as well, and it's like, are they black or are they just white with a lot of fake tan? It's actually really gross, like the amount of blackfishing that's occurring. And like, we're also seeing in things like plastic surgery, there is a huge trend now towards getting surgeries that makes people more ethnically ambiguous. So if we look at Kardashians, for example, they have done a lot of that. They have a tendency to do that. Yeah, I think these are all conversations we need to have. My mum always asks me why I'm always studying the depressing history, and I'm like, it's all depressing. Yeah, none of it was particularly good. I love lives like this because you're so educated and speak so eloquently. I'm not that educated. I do attempt to try and look up these things. He was made to look at these products that without them he wasn't clean enough. I used to deliberately buy him more nourishing. Yeah, And like there's still stuff like that being sold in like Africa, and there's a lot of like bleaching products. It's genuinely quite frightening, like that is still going on. Like even like I was told like, oh, you'll do well with like your partner's family because you're so white and they'll love that. And I'm like, I hope they won't like me just because of my skin color, but because I'm actually not the worst person ever. You know? In college 2 years ago, one of the girls did my makeup and she made me darker than my actual skin. Like the jump from my hand to my face was shocking, and people commented saying how much better. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like, what's going on? But there's definitely that thing around like wanting to look more ethnically ambiguous these days, and I'm like, okay, you're doing that, but you're not taking into account like all of the racism and the, you know, cultural appropriation that's occurring there and how problematic that is. And I'm like, makes me uncomfortable. And if it's making me uncomfortable, I can't even imagine what it's like for somebody who's actually from that group, that they're seeing somebody like adopting bits. Like, oh, I was really annoyed with Ariana Grande recently for wearing a headdress to something, and I was like, oh Jesus, what are you doing? It's like, if it was 2008, I'd get it. Well, I wouldn't, but like, you know, I'd kind of be like, okay, we don't know any better, but we know, people are talking about it enough. It's not that hard to go out and find this information to know about. You can't say this, you shouldn't say this. This girl who fake tan so dark, she passed me, and I don't. Wow, that's insane, Kaylee. It's nuts. It's like when it's POC's natural body and skin, it's not looked at positively, but it's what? That's the thing. Yep. It's partially classism too, though. Yes. Yes, absolutely. It's hugely classism. It is, absolutely. I mean, even if you look back at early makeup, it was to make your skin white, and they would actually paint on veins to make themselves look translucent. Like, I'd have done very well back in the day, being as white as I am. But it's totally a classism. Like, you are that white because you haven't had to go out and work in the sun. You have the privilege of being inside and having servants and being waited on. Yeah, huge classism thing, hugely. Yeah, it's totally a reflection. And again, this comes back to trigger warning, because I'm going to talk about body stuff now. So if you need to leave, totally get it. That's totally fine. But there was a point in history where to be, I'm going to say more Rubenesque, because that was literally like the way they painted bodies, was a little bit of, like bodies like mine. Have a little bit of this, have a little bit of this. That was the thing that we wanted. Because that meant you had a bit of money, that meant that you had resources, that meant that you could feed yourself, you actually had enough resources to actually take care of yourself. And that's still the case in certain countries like Mauritius. Actually, they really like it if you have a little bit of weight on, because it's seen as being quite desirable. But now it has changed in such that the more affluent countries, there's a lot of data on this that shows that the more affluent countries, they are more likely to see more, again, trigger warning around body image, etc. Please X out if this is not your thing. But there is a trend that shows like the more affluent a country is, the more likely it sees as skinny body types as being desirable. And that's because you have to put a lot of money into maintaining that sort of thing, you know, nutrition, etc. Yeah, or even, you know, surgeries, etc. into these things. So it's interesting. It is definitely a classism thing, and it's not just in terms of skin tone. It's the way that we physically present, which I find really quite interesting. Fashion always goes with the opposite of the working class look. Yep, in times of plenty, it's fashionable to be thin. Yep. Oh, Terry, don't worry. Like, I've just been chatting about all sorts. Yeah, Nikki, like, it was nuts. Like, they would actually paint it in. I know there's a book coming out soon, and it's all about who was it that, because I was listening to James and Roberts, you know, the Double Cleanse, and they had like a guest on, and it was like the history of makeup and skincare, and it's looking across like genders and how it's actually started off as like being a male thing, which, by the way, you know, let's be real, you know, male female binary thing, it's not really, that's not the thing. But just talking about how it didn't just start off as being like this feminine thing. So I know there's a book on that coming out soon, and I need to keep an eye out for it because it sounds like my kind of thing. David G, that's the one. That's exactly the one, Sophie. Yes. I don't know if it's out yet. I'm going to look that up, actually. David G book. Oh, it is out. Pretty Boys. Okay, I need to look at that. So I'm very excited. Because I am on holiday, so I can actually start doing these things. So I'm very excited. Heels were a male thing first, yeah. Again, that was a class thing. I was watching Haute Mode, and he does fashion reviews. He said, is this fashionable, or is it just someone very thin in clothes? Yeah. There's also another thing. And there's somebody on TikTok, and they're like, is this plus size fashion, or is it loungewear? Like, is it, you know, bedtime attire? And I'm like, literally, plus size fashion likes to just be like, here, wear a burlap sack and hide your body and be ashamed of yourself. It's like, that's not helpful. Like, all bodies are acceptable. There is no one body type that is the perfect thing. All bodies are. Like, there's that whole, you know, body positivity movement, but I like the radical body acceptance movement, which is like, no, we shouldn't be saying all bodies are beautiful. The fact that we're putting, you know, worth on beauty is problematic, because there's a lot more to a person than beauty. It changes over time, and it should be all bodies are valid, all bodies are accepted, irrespective of age, gender, race, ethnicity, size, etc. And I'm like, I like that movement. That's the one I can get behind. That's the one I like. But I totally get, you know, where people are coming from with the body positivity movement as well, and I think that's totally valid. But I think the radical body acceptance is actually really important as well, because people are made to feel bad about themselves at the strangest of times. Like, can we just be like, a body's a body, it's doing its thing, let's leave it be. Just saying. Like, weird thought. I'd like to just celebrate bodies. I hate the term real women. Oh God, yeah, that's the weird thing. Like, I know who was it recently? Selena Gomez had a picture out recently of her like in a bikini, and everyone was like, oh my God, finally a real body. And I'm like, why does that sound like it's a weird backhanded insult? Like, or even just going, oh my God, that's so brave. Thanks, I live in this body all the time. Thanks. It's very strange. I don't understand it. A body's a body. Let's let it be. You know? It's a radical thought. If a shoe is too small, it's the shoe that's the wrong size. But if you don't fit into a dress, suddenly your mind says you're too big. Exactly. And I find this really interesting. Obviously, I'm at the age where a lot of friends, etc., are getting married. And I know people who have gotten a dress that's like a size or two too small, and they're like, I'll fit into it. And I'm like, or you could just buy a dress that's the size for you. Hey Gar, my love, how are you? Actually, I need to chat with you because I want to start making you little baby booties, but I wasn't sure what colour you want the baby booties in. So, I know the style that I want to do, little wraparound baby booties. Like, I have a cute little design in mind. I just want to know what colour you want, so I can go and get like the proper wool. Oh yeah, the You're So Brave thing is so like, what, like, I have scars, I have stretch marks, I have this, I have that, whatever. It's grand. I have bingo wings. It's okay. It's acceptable. I have lines on my forehead constantly because I'm constantly doing this. You want black? Perfect. I'll make little black baby booties though. But I have lines on my forehead. It's just a body. And I realise I'm kind of bizarre in saying that because I talk about how self-conscious I am of my lines, but I think it's because society makes me feel that way, and I'm like, god damn it. But also it does impact the way that my makeup looks, and that bothers me. I think it's more just I'm like, my canvas should be smooth. And so I realise I am horribly hypocritical when saying this thing, and it's something I need to work on. Like, I know that, but I'll get there eventually. I'll get black wool. I have to get black wool. I'm excited now. I like having a little project. And I have your address anyway, Hagar, so I can send that. That is a good idea, Hagar. Yeah, I like making like gender neutral stuff. Yeah, because I was like, I could make them grey or white or whatever because then, but I think black is actually really, it's going to be easier as well because let's face it, tiny humans, if we make them a darker colour, it's going to be easier to keep them as well. Yeah, grand. I'll make little black beba booties. Beba booties. Oh my god, is my tea almost gone? Almost. Almost. When I come by, I'll need to know what is made of wool. I'm allergic. Okay, that is good to know. Okay, I'll make sure to like put stuff away that is wool. Everybody is a real body. If somebody wants to say themselves they're feeling brave, that's their own insecurities and body to comment on, but from someone else, it's backhand. Yeah, absolutely. It's not it's rational knowledge versus emotional response. Yeah, black would be the best colour. Yeah, I agree. Black is a good colour. But yeah, it's totally like a rational knowledge versus emotional response. It totally is. Yeah, I'm like, I know that like it's not a thing to get all whatever about, but I still do. But also I think when I see my lines on my forehead, I know what they're from, and they're from stress and from me worrying about things. So I look at that and I think about all of this stuff that I've been through, and I almost see the instances of my life where those things, I'm like, I can see the stress of a PhD there. I can see, the pain of my brother dying. I can see this here. Like, that's what these lines are. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's not that deep. Like, although they are deep, they're very deep. It's getting to the point where like a foundation like collects them. Like, you can see they're quite deep, quite deep. Dun 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 dun. My mum's having a little girl in around a month. Would you mind making some booties? Absolutely, Kaylee. Yeah. Does she want them in any particular colour? I can make those. That's no problem. A baby booties. Yeah, so it's so funny. We have like little things about ourselves that we don't like, and I guarantee nobody else notices them about ourselves. Around your eyes, maybe pinks and whites. Yeah, okay, I'll have a look. I'll get some wool on that. I might have some there. Might have some like multicolored like pinky whitey wool. That could actually be quite cute. Yeah, kind of beautifully sad. Yeah, I'm like, I can see those things in my face. But it's funny, my face has changed an awful lot in the last couple of years because of like weight changes. It's like I've never seen someone and thought any of the things I think about. That's the thing. We are so self-obsessed. We notice our own flaws, but we don't tend to notice the flaws in other people, which is actually quite a nice thing that we don't do that. We shouldn't be looking for flaws in other people. Although, let us talk about the naughties and how damaging that was as a human being. And the media can go, and do you see that bit of cellulite there? Women were vilified, and men, of like constantly being like, oh look, who's packed on the pans, who's done this and who's done that. I was like, well, maybe chill out. Isn't that interesting, Daniela? I'm gonna, like, when I get married, I'm just gonna buy a dress that fits me. I have a really deep crease between my brows because everything makes me same. Same. I have 11 lines on my forehead. but only one line. And my gran always points out when makeup creases in it, like, I know, that's annoying, isn't it? Yeah. I'm like, just, it is what it is. It's mostly I get annoyed because of the makeup thing. But I have the fringe and it hides it, so it's fine. By the way, I'm loving this lipstick. Look at how well that is staying. I haven't had to reapply that at all. And I've been chatting, I've been drinking tea. That's a damned good shade. Man, I think it's a damned good makeup look. I'm so beautiful. Can't help it. Stunning. In fairness, I'm actually having a little look at myself now and being a, like, demented thing. Can you imagine if I could actually see what I was doing? It's MAC, the Botanic Panic collection, and it is in tulip service. And I did Daniela's tip of like buffing it into the skin. So I was like, yes, this is looking good. Brianna, you're too lovely. Yeah, I like the idea of marriage, but I like the idea of like getting friends together and being like, you are the people I care about, and I want you to be here when I tell the person that I love that I'm making promises to them. So, yeah. Oh yeah, I have basically a whole wardrobe of things I am going to fit into. Plus, I feel brave for wearing shorts to the gym because it's just too damn hot for leggings. But that's the way we're made to feel. It's really crap. Yeah. I didn't intend to lose weight for my wedding, but so much was DIY around myself. Yeah, that happens to people as well. That's why I asked about the lipstick. My teacup is usually full of kisses. It's a damn good lipstick, isn't it? I really like it. I did give it a 10 out of 10 in my review because I had tried it. You know, I try all of the stuff before I do a review. Like, usually just a quick wash, like as in like a wash color, just to see what it's like and how it wears, so that I can give a decent idea rather than like a first impression, because a first impressions never gives you a good idea of how something works. But yeah, I usually like to have a little look. I do look glowy, don't I? Yeah. That bloody skin finish. I gave them an... Why am I like telling you? This is a video for Thursday. No, I'm going to tell you because you're... Gave them a 9 out of 10. The reason I took marks off, and this is literally the only reason, was I think it's a bit sad that they didn't have more skin finishes in different colours, like in different shade ranges for this collection. However, I'm not giving out to them because I know that they have lots of other skin finishes in other colours, like in other shades, in their range overall. So it's not like that they are like not inclusive as it is. It's just like, oh, it's a pity because the packaging is gorgeous. And I know lots of people who have like deeper skin tones would have like quite enjoyed that, but they can't get it. And it's just this gorgeous packaging. So that's just me being like, oh, it's a pity for those who would like that. But yes. Yeah, it's a pity that MAC aren't cruelty free. I really hope they're heading that way. Yeah, they do a nice bullet. Yeah, absolutely. Get rid of stuff that doesn't fit you. I have kept a lot of stuff that is now too big for me, like much too big for me. I was 27, 28 stone. How much is that in pounds? Hold on. 28 multiplied by 14. That's £392. So it's £392. I don't know how much I am now. I don't weigh myself now. I don't like to do that because I can get obsessed with numbers. I have issues with that. Again, trigger warning. Not that I'm going to talk about it for very long, but yeah. It is such a pity. I know that China's laws are meant to be changing around that soon, and I hope they do, because I just don't get why they do that. Like, it really doesn't make sense. We know enough about cosmetics now that we don't have to test, but our weddings are a couple of days long, and my white dress fit beautifully. Yes, because Sahil is Muslim, and I've been talking to his dad, because his dad is like, will you take part in a Muslim wedding? So he was like, I haven't proposed. And his dad is like, but you've introduced her, so therefore. And I'm like, yeah, it's important to you, so I'll do that. You know, just know that I'm actually agnostic, but I respect your beliefs, and that's totally fine. So he was like, it does go on for several days, and I'm like, oh God, I'm going to be broken by the end of it. Like, I'm not able for all of that, but that'll be interesting. Yeah, exactly. Go by how you feel. That's it. Yeah. Oh, Daniela, you are a friggin' babe. A babe. Like, I loved the little bike shorts that you had. Meant to be worldwide, cruelty free in the next 5 years. Yeah, that's what I remember hearing as well, Daniela, and I hope that's the case. Yeah, I hope they're getting there, because like there are a lot of other things I quite like about Mac. You know, the whole year-round Viva Glam thing and giving towards LGBTQ communities. The fact that, you know, they give, like they had the liners there recently, and they gave not just the profits but the sale price, the whole thing, like all of that money to like LGBTQ charities. So I'm like, that is really damn good, and we need to applaud you know, cosmetic brands that are doing things like that. I think like there's more stuff that they're coming out with that I'm finding interesting. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that I'm like meh, but the quality is damn good. You know, I just hope they get there in terms of, you know, sorting out the whole cruelty free thing. The rules are in motion to be changing, but it takes a longer. Well, that's the thing. We know that it takes a long time for laws to change, for articles to come into being. We've all been there. Speaking as part of a country that has had a lot of things changing over the last couple of years, thankfully. They talk about working with the Chinese government on their own page and what they aim to achieve, same as L'Oreal and Estee Lauder. I'm happy to support these causes personally. Things take time. Yeah, absolutely. I like to be optimistic. Same. I was supposed to call my friend an hour ago because he wanted to know about contouring, but I'm too interested here to leave. Oh, Kaylee, you're too sweet. I cannot wait to meet you. Very excited. Can you imagine? It's less than 3 weeks. Also, how well is that glue holding? The butterflies are still there. Doo-doo. And the little flower. And these are the lashes that I cleaned, and I did give them a little curl. Can you imagine? I've worn these about 20 times. I think they look pretty darn good. It is Eid, that's right. Eid al-Adha. Yeah, because I got a thing from his dad actually about that. So I think his dad like got some sheep for it. So not my thing, but you know, I'm like, great. So I just sent him like a quick message to say like happy Eid and hope everything goes well and you have a nice celebration. So also happy Eid to you, Hagar, and anyone else from the Muslim community. Hurrah. Yeah, I did well with cleaning my lashes. I do want to be complimented on that. I'm very happy with that. And also the liner is Glisten Cosmetics, in case anyone's wondering. It's the Pride liner, which I think they should make that a permanent thing and not like a limited edition thing. I think that was really nice. I do like their liners in general. I may have to wear a green outfit. Yes! What glue? I used the Benefit glue. They're really good for like a good strong hold for those. That's what I used that for. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. I'm really proud of my ears for holding these on for so long. But yeah, the Benefit glue, it's really good if you have like heavy things that you want to glue to your face. Like I had, you might remember, excuse me, my voice. I had like these golden big butterflies on for the XX Revolution. Would the glue survive a hurricane? I mean, I do have a fan up in my bedroom. I should just like stand in front of that and be like, and then you can see like my jowls moving, my hair being parted like the Red Sea. I do find that's really good for like the heavy stuff that I want to like glue to my face. So that's handy, and I do appreciate that. I'd have to go into a hurricane to test that. I do like rain, but like I don't want to be in a hurricane. Rock you like a hurricane. Sorry, that went a bit weird. I've been on for a while and I've done nothing. We've just chatted. What God, it's been over 2 hours. That's ridiculous, lads. I should leave you guys to it. Thank you for joining me. I still can't believe there's 25 people here. That's bananas. That's bonker balls. Very much appreciated. I like to do these like every so often just to have like a little catch up and a chill out with you guys. So, and also just as a huge thank you to You've Got Thunder and Light. Oh, that means maybe the weather is breaking. Hopefully, that'd be nice. But yeah, just as a general thank you to you guys, because obviously I've had a lot of stuff going on in the last while, and sorry, that's an incoming video call from Sahil. But like, your support has meant so much to me, and I don't think I say it enough that I do like so appreciate you guys. And for those who are able, message me, let me know if you can come to Scotland, Edinburgh, etc. From the 7th to, I'll be there from the 7th to the 12th. I'm arriving in late on the 7th, leaving late on the 12th. So let me know. I'd love to hang out, chill out with you guys. If we even went for a picnic or something somewhere, just to chill out, relax, bring a big blanket, have a little hangout. I will also probably bring my camera and like vlog a certain amount of it, so be aware. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, guys. I'm going to F off now, guys. I love you so much. Oh, Kaylee, like, even if it needs to be, I'll get you a ticket. Like, you know, put a little bit of money aside. I love you guys so much. I wish I was alive enough to come up and see you all. Oh, Emily, look, I'll come and visit you at some point, or like, you know, you're always free to come over to Ireland. I've been going to Labour sometime that week. Hagar, send me a message and, you know, let us know how it's going. I love you guys so much. I'm going to F off now. I think I might see if I have any wool. And I will chat to you guys later. Love you lots, and I will see you later.